All right, our next guest is one of the 50 NBA's greatest players. Please welcome NBA Hall of Famer Rick Barry.
Rick!
Hey, Rick.
Hi,
The
guys.
NBA was real busy yesterday. A lot of trades, but a real big trade was Sacramento traded Chris Webber all the way to Philly. Now, do you think that was a great trade?
For Philadelphia, it was a great trade.
Really?
And all of a sudden, well, now they have an opportunity to win the Atlantic Division, which stinks anyway. So, yeah, they're the front runners there. Allen Iverson's celebrating.
Only guy who played in the West would say that the East sucks. I just wonder, who has a championship right now? Is it a team in the East?
Hey, wait a second. Did you not play?
Yeah.
What is this thing? You're in L.A. I thought you're an L.A. guy.
I'm in L.A. trying to be in Hollywood. I wasn't trying.
Hey, you know what? But the thing about it is, John, your old team should be ashamed of themselves the way they came out as defending champions as lousy as they played early in the season.
Yeah.
That's true, Sal. They picked it up, though, haven't they, Sal?
Yeah, let's see what happens when the fat lady sings.
She's not going to be on, is she?
Yeah, she's not going to be on.
Okay.
So you think that a team that gets 6 players for 1 player, the team that got 6, is not in a better position? I wonder how that works out, Rick.
Well, no, I think that the Sacramento made the move because they played so well without Webber last year. He's making a lot of money. He's not the player that he was before since he's had the injury. And actually, I think the other players were deferring to him. When you look at what was going on with their other 3 really good players, now they have an opportunity to play like they did before Chris Webber was there, and they have more depth.
I think there was actually 3 players.
3 players?
Yeah, but
that was
2
3.
of them were very fat, so they kind of said. Now, here's a weird one. Sal's freaked out by this. Antoine Walker is back in Boston.
Right.
Sal said it would never happen. What do you think about that trade for GP going down to Atlanta?
Well, I don't think GP is going to stay in Atlanta. He's going to get his contract bought out, and he's going to wind up playing for a contender someplace is what I think is going to happen. But I don't know. I guess the only thing Danny Ainge did, maybe he reacted to Chris Webber going to Philly, felt they had to do something in Boston to try to win in that lousy division, and so he re-signed a guy that he didn't want in the first place, figuring that he'll be gone after this year anyway, but at least he can get him into the playoffs by winning the Atlantic Division. That's the only thing I can figure.
Wow.
Breathe, Rick. Okay, that's a very smart. Rick is very smart.
Rick, he's the smartest guy.
What do you think? He is the smartest guy. What do you think about a guy that gets traded but won't show up, and that's his job, and he's supposed to be there? He's got traded. What do you think about that?
I lose a little respect for a guy like that because you are a professional. You're being paid a great deal of money to play a silly game, and to not show up because you're not happy because where you were traded to, that's part of what the business is all about. So I would have to question that guy and just what type of character he had.
Okay, now Baron Davis leaves from a terrible team down in New Orleans, and he goes to another terrible team.
Please,
State.
John, now you're hitting me right at home.
I know, that's why I said it. No, he goes to Golden State, which, as you know, I love San Francisco. You think it's going to work out for San Francisco? I mean, for Golden State, you think they're going to move up?
This year, forget it. I think what they have to do this year is they have to let Barron rest, make sure he's healthy, find out what they have, play Schizavili, play Biedrins, play Petrus, find out what they can do, and then decide what they're going to do in the draft. And then start it again for next year with Baron Davis, who's one of the premier guards in the league, and let him get healthy.
Hey, how about the Knicks? They traded both of their centers and added some salary. Is there something wrong with Isaiah Thomas, or is he doing the smart thing there?
No, I heard that he's actually going to try and sign you next week.
Oh, my God. I would play there.
All right, now,
I don't know what the heck's going on over there. All I know is they have a salary that is so astronomical, and they don't have a very good basketball team right now.
Well, you know, I think you should be a GM because you can tell a guy, you would call a guy and say, I'm trading you, I don't like you, and reason why you're getting traded. I know you would do that.
Yeah.
I just think a GM should stand behind his coach and let his coach put a guy on the bench if he shouldn't do that anymore. But the coaching thing, John, I may have some news for you sometime here, but I really can't divulge it right now.
Oh, you hold it back.
Finally.
Okay.
No, I don't know if it's going to happen, but there's something happening.
Rick, come on now. We got you on the show.
Is it a professional sports? Is it professional, perhaps?
No, it's actually my son's 8th grade team, I think.
I wanted that job.
Okay, WNBA, you're going to do one of those Bill Lambiers win a championship in WNBA, then move up, let everybody see you got the skills?
No, it may be a little bit better than that, but I really can't talk about it.
Okay, is it going to be at Golden State? Is it going to be
Sally, you're not going to get me to say anything.
Hey,
come on.
I'm going to call Johnny Cocker right now. We'll get a rhyme, and you will tell.
John wants to show his skills with the WNBA, but it's a whole different story.
Hey, okay, I got to go to this.
He actually might be able to be a star in the WNBA.
Okay, Rick.
I can't help myself.
All right, now Barry Bonds, right out of there, one of your guys, I hope. What do you think about his statements the other day?
I was hoping that Barry was going to come out and say, look, I told the truth to the grand jury. I knowingly never took steroids. And you can either choose to believe me or not believe me. Any other questions you'd like to discuss, I'd be happy to answer them. But this thing is over with as far as I'm concerned. And that would have been, I think, the best way to approach it.
Okay. I got to ask you a question because you're one of the 50 greatest. And we had this debate here, and I almost lost my mind. Had to smoke 3 cigars because of it. If you had to start a team right now and you had 2 guys at their best, Scottie Pippen and Allen Iverson, who do you take?
Wow, that's an interesting one.
I'm an interesting guy.
Yeah, you are an interesting guy. I would have to probably take. Wow, that's a tough one.
Why?
I'd have to take Iverson.
What?
Iverson. Iverson right now because John, listen.
No, if you heard, they're at the best they were, right? They're at the best games, not like Allen getting old or Scotty. What?
No, I'm talking about Allen Iverson. I'm talking about Allen Iverson with the fact that he has finally grown up, and what he said after the All-Star game was so wonderful to hear that coming out of his mouth, how he has to assume responsibility. He's got kids. He's got to worry about it. He regrets some of the things he's done in the past. He's finally growing up, and I am so proud of Allen Iverson, and I just love it.
Let me tell you.
I agree with Rick. I like what he said at the All-Star game. It was cool. Come on, man.
Okay, and Michael Irvin said he never took cocaine. Listen, let me just say this. Guys say all kinds of stuff. Let me just say this. When you get Scottie Pippen, 6'9", point guard, shooting guard, 3-man, center, he's almost like Magic Johnson.
Right.
Why would you take a guy who is 5'0", weighs 100 pounds over Scottie Pippen? I love Allen.
Because Allen Iverson never was saying something in a situation in a critical part of the game that I don't want to go back into the ball game. And he's a competitor. He plays hard all the time. Would I love to have Scottie Pippen on my team as a part of my team? Certainly. But he had a chance to try to lead the Chicago Bulls to do it. He's not Michael Jordan type of a leader. He's a great player, but he's not in the same league and competitor as Allen Iverson.
Okay, let me go over this again. I said Scottie Pippen, who's one of the 50 greatest players. I'm not talking about some guy we never heard of. Scottie Pippen, think about this. This guy, if he's not on the team, Michael Jordan may not be what he is right now.
Hey, I'm not telling that he's not an outstanding player. But he wasn't a guy to carry a team, John. There's a big difference between being a complimentary player and being a guy who can carry a team. Scotty never proved that he could carry a team. Michael did. He was a great compliment to him, and I'd love to have him on my team, but I don't think that he can carry a team like Allen Iverson
So
has.
what team is that you're going to be coaching?
Oh, John.
Hey, Rick, thank you.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Couldn't have done without him. Thank you, Rick Barry. We appreciate it.